We call this one a talker because back now it is the treat that so many of us grab to eat and we can't shut up about it. It's sugar. It is a go-to for stress, boredom, or just to satisfy a craving. But there can be too much of a good thing. So ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darien Sutton is here with what you need to know to curb those cravings and cut back on sugar.
Yeah.
We were all just saying, okay, how much is too much? And how do we know how much we're getting?
Really important questions. Just to start, we understand that sugar increases our risk of diabetes. At least most of us fully understand that. What people don't understand is that it also increases your inflammation. It increases your blood pressure. That is a pathway to heart disease. The amount of sugar that you have in your diet is directly associated with your risk of a heart attack. And that's despite how much work you do in terms of how much workouts you do in the gym. So what are the limits? The American Health Association has limits. For men, 36 grams. Well, you're paying very close attention. That's about 9 teaspoons. For women, 25 grams. That's about 6 teaspoons. The average American, get this, 71 grams of sugar a day, 17 teaspoons of sugar. That is a lot. Many people shocked, but that's the
17
average.
teaspoons.
How can you look for it? So when you're looking at the ingredient list, I know it's shocking. That's how I felt. You want to look for easy to find words. For example, if they end in ose, sucrose, maltose, glucose. These are forms of sugar. Most important number you can pay attention to, added sugar. That's the number that you want to pay attention to when you're trying to calculate how much you're getting throughout the day, and knowing the claims. Reduced sugar means 25% less than the regular product, but it's not zero.
So there's a distinction too between added sugars, which are what we should be looking out for, and then maybe the sugar that comes from blueberries or fruits, natural sugars. Okay, that's important. But sugar can sneak up on us. It hides in sneaky places. Where should we be focusing our attention that we might not think of right off the bat?
One place it sneaks in really well is condiments. Ketchup, barbecue. 2 tablespoons is about 10 grams of sugar. So you've already gotten through a third of your day's sugar just by adding a condiment. And then the biggest source of sugar for the average American is sugary beverages. This is what changed my life, understanding how much sugar is in the drinks that we drink. Sports drink, for example, at least 36 grams of sugar. Now, just doing the math, that's more sugar than you probably need the entire day.
Wow. So how do we cut back? Just asking for a friend.
Just asking for a friend who might be sitting really close to us. So the number one thing you want to do is understand how much sugar you're eating a day, taking a journal. I know it can be difficult to write down exactly what your ingredients are, but just take a picture of the food label before you eat it. Add it up later. That's an easy way to keep track of it. And then cutting back through that. You can add in and swap in spices like cinnamon and nutmeg, for example, if you're trying to sweeten up your coffee. And then just being cautious of low-calorie sugar alternatives. I know Eva is like,
no, I
will not
like
take
cinnamon
that.
and sugar.
That's not going to cut it.
But you also want to make sure that you're paying attention to those zero-calorie sugar alternatives. I know they seem really well-intentioned, and I can understand that, but that can still affect your insulin resistance, which can then again increase your risk of diabetes. So paying attention to that, moderation is key.
I feel like the big thing is curbing the cravings. That's like I'll have dinner, salty, whatever, savory, and then I'm like, I need ice cream, I need chocolate.
Which is why it's so important not to cut back to zero. You want to trend it down because it really is a reaction in your brain. And so when you're trying to cut back, it's really about cutting down slowly. It's the same thing that you would do with any other vice that you're trying to cut back on.
Everything in moderation, including moderation.
Everything.
Sugar is a drug. Don't forget that.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.